couple months and then I'll bug you about it.
Yeah. So it's not next week, it's the new year you're doing the 75.
Yeah, next week it's the 96, 92. Pretty sure.
That's a good route.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Oh, and there's no school kids.
Exactly, that's part. That's why I took the 75 as well, because I like that route, but not when they're in school,
You know what? I would make the 75 route highway all the time. So if there was no governors, you can go as fast as you would like.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Alright.
I don't imagine the 7600s would like this weather too much because so you're not out of Vic Park a lot this sign up, eh? A lot less than normal.
Yeah, I haven't been at Vic Park until later on. A little bit later, yeah. Yeah, you missed out last week. That was good work that I had. At 76, 105.
Yeah, except it's so busy with the school kids.
No, I only had one time where I picked up kids and they all got off.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm thinking of the other one. I'm thinking of the one that pulls into Dalhousie at 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Were you back in Dalhousie at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I think I was a 105 at that point. And that one.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the 76 at 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one that's busy.
Yeah, no, this looks really good.
I wonder why you didn't get a change off yesterday since Anderson's a lot closer than VP.
I know, but it was that thing. It's like, it was a good bus other than being cool. You know?
Oh, right. And they could give you something worse, like, you know what? You could set it up and then you get bells and whistles that there's a fluid leak or something.
Exactly, yeah. So I was like, oh, it's alright. Like,
Remember when you did that on the 11 when I jinxed you?
but then you know what happened last night is my furnace, like it just kicked off and didn't come on all night. So in the morning the house was at 9 degrees.
You're kidding. Oh my god.
But it was just the thermostat, like it needed to be reset. Now it's fine, so I don't know what's happening.
You know what? It might have been a breaker. Sometimes they randomly go out.
Yeah, maybe. But it was pretty chilly in the house.
You know what? I don't do the 10-minute windows for buses in this weather. I wait till you arrive if I'm close enough, and if you got a few minutes,
Yeah.
that's when I go out.
Yeah.
Were you able to get any heat last night, or absolutely
No, I
not?
didn't have heat. It was just, I also had like a cool draft blowing at me from up here somewhere.
Yeah.
So it was like my feet were okay, but then this cool draft was like on my
So got news at Spring, they're putting in electric charging stations
Yeah,
because we're getting electric shuttles soon.
yeah, that's,
You know what? I'm not so fathom over the electric, but I hope they're at least a lot better than those Arbics.
yeah, no good.
I just got on an Arbic recently, and man, they're just.
So like, there's no suspension for them. I feel like you're in like
And it doesn't matter what one you get on, gas or diesel. None of them have any suspension, period. Do you have any SG work as well? Oh, that's don't remind
You
me.
know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. 86.
You know what? The 87, I would come out. Say if you promised me, you know 1046, it's a preserved bus.
Yeah.
Say if you promised me, I'm just saying, for example, it's like if you come out for me one day on the 87, I'll grant special permission for transit to do your own private charter on 1046 Jimmy, then I would be all over that. Yeah. That would be the greatest deal ever.
Well, I'll see what I can arrange.
That would be one of the greatest presents ever. Going on a charter on 1046. And the reason is it's gonna be it would be extra special for me because I was unable to get on the Jimmies because they're high floors. But for that day I would bring my cane down for sure. I could step up and use the rail. So if you did that, then I would come on the 87. Hey, a deal's a deal. A deal's a deal.
Okay, I'll try. I'll make some phone calls. Pull some strings.
And for that, I would want your contact, just saying, because over email it's kind of hard to keep in touch sometimes. So yeah, you would have to give me a call and give me advance notice because where do I have to go, where to start?
Well, what if I just want to pick you up? I'll just take it out to Chesterfield real quick.
And there's bus stops for the Max Purple and it perfect.
We can make it work.
Make sure we go on Deerfoot on the weekends. So I hear the thing scream.
That's right. Sunday morning when there's no traffic.
You know what? Call me crazy. If you were at my house at 9 a.m., I would be crazy enough to do this.
Do it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I would make a commitment.
Get up at 9 a.m., eh? Wow.
Well,
Good.
that's 1982.
That's true.
And you know what the ironic thing is? 1046 is my favorite Jimmy.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it was the last two-tone blue left in active service. And I'm sure you're good at driving a Jimmy. I'm sure we wouldn't have any issues.
As long as we take the governor off.
You would.
Shut down on us, then we get in trouble.
Could you start it back up?
I think you have to let it sit there for like 20 minutes or something.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then the controller gives you a hard time.
You know what? And I want this opportunity in 2021, like Ben said, 1046 is out, but it was too late to go. He gave me the information too late. And I think a private charter would be better anyway. It's not that crowded.
Oh, definitely. That's the way to go.
You know what? I'll just wait and see. That could be me someday. I'll be in the back of one of those things. I never know what you're up to. You could surprise me. But if you called, you would have to figure out what garage it's at. Because sometimes they have it at Spring, but when they did the charter, it went to Stony, and when they were done, they parked it at Stony, right? And if you did that, I could always drive and get dropped off at Stony when you're waiting for me there. And it's not bad because I can just use Stony and then Country Hills. 100 times over to ride a Jimmy. But the one thing is, I would meet you at Circle, what is it, Circle K? I would be in my glory, and you want to know something? That would be my oldest bus in my fleet. And 7632 would then be my second favorite bus after 1046. Don't make phone calls in this weather because it is snowy. And the Jimmy would just slide. And I don't even care where we meet. If you say for example, if you came to Whitehorn, we're like, okay, Whitehorn it is. Or you know what am I thinking? You can just come to Chestermere and stop by the rec center. And the Max Purple does not come to Chestermere on the weekend, so you can use that as a charter stop. Yeah. And you know what? Make sure they have it all with a fresh tank of diesel, because George, when he drove them once, he ran out of diesel, and I don't want that to happen to us, especially when we're on a charter trip. And then if I needed help up the stairs, you would help me. And you know what? The Jimmys have railings, which is good, so. Just mind you, I won't be up front because you know I like my screamers. Yeah, that's the main thing. We gotta get permission, and the second most important thing, we gotta make sure it's all warmed up and ready to go. Even in the winter, if there's no snow on the ground and the roads are a little wet, but they're pretty good, you know, that's not an issue. On a cold day, we would break down because you gotta remember, 1046 is a 40-year-old bus. I feel bad for the U2s today out in this weather. They're probably the train that's struggling the most. Oh, we're not going to be into Fish Creek on time, I know that. Was it like this yesterday too?
Well, it wasn't quite this bad. I think the snow has everybody. I don't know.
The one thing that's driving me nuts, it's not even snowing that much and it's not that windy, but it's just the direction of everything today.
But you know that trains are running every 10 minutes, right?
Oh, I wanted to let you know about the midday service instead of 15. You know what? I think Calgary Transit made the right move because even the all-day run trains, some of them are packed before rush hour. But you know what? Only up till 8 p.m. at night, then 9 p.m. on it goes off to 15, which is understandable. After 8 o'clock, they don't need 10-minute frequency. And I wanted to tell you, 4-car trains are also bad.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see that.
But you know what's really shocking? The 10-minute when I went online and checked the winter service changes, and I'm like, midday service, 10 minutes. I'm like, wow. That's what it should be all the time. I don't want to wait 15 minutes.
No, it's just not enough.
And plus, I hate downtown at night. So if they're running trains every 10 minutes, they must have a couple extra trains out for that time, even after rush hour. I was waiting for the till. It was about 20 minutes. I had to sit and wait in the car. Then I saw a couple trains go by in Somerset, and it was like only 2 o'clock, and trains were going southbound. I'm like, there's a little more frequency here. What's going on? It's not even rush hour yet. And then I went online, and I'm like, oh, that's why. They're running every 10 minutes. So if you have to take the train later at night at like 6 something, it's a big difference for you. Although weekend service, I don't think they've done much. A couple extra trips on the buses though. We're not going to be in till 4:30. Oh, I wanted to tell you, are we still going through the neighborhood? No.
No, we're going straight on that road. Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's like, okay.
Well, even if you're late, I get to spend some extra time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Are you just here for one trip, or what are you doing?
I'm just here for one today because I'm only scheduled till 6. And plus, as it gets colder at night, I don't think I would want to. And I know what you're going to say, so I'll stop you there.
What am I going to say?
And it's like, you don't want to come out in the cold and keep me company for 3 hours?
Why don't you?
Yeah. Good. Now that you're getting going, the heat's not bad. It's fun when the bus sits, it cools off. Why wouldn't they just close all Calgary schools today? I checked, it's minus 40 with the wind chill. Overnight tonight, it was minus 45 with the wind chill this morning. So that's why I don't understand. They're actually breaking a law by doing that. Minus 40 with the wind chill, you have to shut the schools down. Because it's a bus safety thing. We still got enough old school buses on the road And if they break, you got 75 to 80 students on there with a broken down bus on the highway. That is a school lot, too.
Yeah, but maybe that's just in the country.
Yeah.
If a bus goes on a highway or something, maybe, I don't know.
But I would think even then, if you break down in the city and you're nowhere near somewhere like an industrial area, if it's part of the route, then you're screwed, right? Even though some schools are shut down, all schools in Chestermere are shut down. Cochrane, Airdrie, the whole Rocky View division. What they should, it's too cold. This is probably the coldest, especially at night, it's probably been the coldest Calgary's ever been. There's no zoo lights at all this week. They probably have them up, they're just not. And I was gonna go, but unfortunately this cold, and I thought to myself, I don't need to go that bad if the weather's like this. Doing pretty good considering we're late. What can you do, right? If someone barks at you to say you're late, well, what can I do? Did you get any 20 work at all or no? They need to add more 20. Give Anderson some 20 work, right? I've been talking to a few of the drivers, it's like they took all our north work away out of AG, right? I checked the 23, it's all Spring and Stony pretty much. But then again, a lot of Anderson drivers don't like the 23, so. Coding it now, because a couple weeks ago you're like, I gotta do this stupid 23.
Yeah, but now it's good, honestly. Like, the bus lane makes it.
You know what? When they didn't have the bus lane, it was hellish.
It was terrible.
They could do better with the relief points. Like, you know what? If you're doing it, you finish at the hospital and you gotta go all the way back to Stony. Now, if you're out of service at Mackenzie Town, that would make more sense. Or Saddle Ridge. Except at Saddle Town, if you have 10 minutes, you're spending 6 minutes getting to the washroom because it's all the way on the other side. So you know what? The proposal has been in. Electric buses, they're trying to aim, like, electric shuttles is a start, but for 40 foots they're trying to do it by 2026. It's so weird not going through that neighborhood. Does the 52 go there, through there?
If you look at the sign, it's one of those green signs now.
And yet they still have the bench there. Isn't that funny? Well, I mean, you know what? George would pick up maybe one person there each trip. Sometimes all day, none at all. And no, they need to take the 15 sign down.
I know, it's still up everywhere.
Because you know what? 102 is a route. There's 2 buses on it. One goes to Silverado and one goes to Millrise. While the 102 won't be so boring now, the 402 was boring because you sit there for 14 minutes. And I'm just saying, Silverado's a nice community. It's not the issue, it's just too much time. Although today you would need it. They've added a new stop on the 75, I think, too. I don't remember, but you know how I go on the Calgary Transit website and they go over all the changes? I was looking. And the construction, if you do it next sign up, for right now it's not as bad. You may run a couple minutes late. But on the Avenue part, remember, I don't know if you did it when they had it. Just not too far from Westbrook, actually, where they've been working on that road. And you would end up being 12 minutes late or something. Now, if you do the 102, you gotta remember you're not doing just mill rides. You go to Silverado one trip, and you're like, I'm not doing the 15 anymore. This is the 102. The heat's okay, but it's one of those buses where it's not great. I think the driver was right.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll run a t-shirt here.
You know what though? It's minus 40 outside, you gotta remember, which doesn't help. Oh, remember that bus you had on the 20 during the last cold snap? You were running it, you were trying to go as fast as you can so you could get air. You know what, I'm not wishing you bad luck, but it was so cold yesterday that I was checking you on Transit 55 to see if you needed a change off. I'm like, she's got the same, because there was enough buses that broke down yesterday for sure. You may not make up your time for a little while, but that's fine. And it's like you want to go regular speed, but the roads are not great, right? Going up the damn hill as well. I forgot you have to do that, and going up that hill is terrible in the snow. When you do this route, I'm thinking you're covering for George, because he would be doing something. Say if he had a vacation now, but I'm like, no, it's just your weekly bid. But you covered for him for 3 weeks. I love that picture of you two that you sent me. Not a lot will ever change with him. He's just that chill guy. If there's one person that knew how to drive in the snow, it would be him. We got, we're getting slammed, are we? I've seen this whole row covered with people once. I've seen it a lot worse. Just in and out. Can't wait for another train. What's for dinner tonight, Stacy? Oh, that's good cold weather food. Stewtolini sounds. George would laugh at that one. Little interesting, but it'll warm the stomach up.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is I have to run down there to this microwave. And so, you get cold down, going down, and then cold coming back up. And then it's like, okay, now I can.
Do you have any time on this route later at night? How is it?
Well, I do have like that. I have a 10-minute layover at like 6:30.
That's what George has. Now getting up this hill is going to be a little taxing, but
we're going to keep her in third gear.
Yeah, she's snow covered for sure. On my way to Somerset, there was a great big tow truck, broken down van. You know how everything does in the cold.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the intersection too, the van was broken down. to not going through the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, that's a bit quicker.
So second gear all night last night, you just had to grind through it. But you said it was a good bus otherwise, there was nothing wrong. You were like, I know it's a little cooler, but I don't want to get a change off. Like, I know you like those Winnipeggers.
That's the only thing that working out of Anderson, you know, it's like you're gonna get those buses.
And I know you don't like the 2006s very much. I was just gonna say, if you get 7972, I know you don't like the Winnipeggers, but there's a few good ones in there that have lots of pep. 7972, if you get that one, you're not gonna like it. I'm just gonna warn you. Because last 2 times I was on it, it was giving me issues. Like for 10 seconds, the transmission wouldn't shift into second gear. It only happened once. But we were stuck in first. The transmission wouldn't shift. That was the second time I was on it. First time I was on it, we got all the bells and whistles to say our transmission was hot. And then first time I saw it, or a couple weeks before I got on it, it was doing a 78 and was sitting broken down at Somerset. So that bus never runs properly. You know how you just get a peach? No matter how much work they do to it, it just doesn't want to run.
It just doesn't want to be a bus.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like
I can say this one's definitely not a clunker though.
this feels pretty good.
And I got it on the 153 going at really high speed. Oh, guess what? I only got a couple more old 40-foot buses, one 2008 and one 04, and then one 2004. That's how far I've came. Then I'll just probably move on to the Arctics eventually. I would not want to ride one today. I imagine the Arctic 3s are so right now. There's actually a number 3 key out of Anderson now. He goes into service at rush hour and goes into service at 24, out of service at 24:48. But the problem is they were let you guys go out of service at Sandstone, which makes no sense. But if you start there, you're gonna end there. Like in the summer when you did your 15 and 3. It seems like, especially here, way south, it's all taken up by Anderson work now. I don't see a lot of VP buses. Like, I mean a few, but... Well, then Vic Park, you mentioned, eventually will have to close. And it could at any time because they own that, if they ever do something with it.
But you heard that they're building like a train storage facility sort of thing in Shelburne.
Shepherd, no. Oh, for the new Italy train cars. Store these there, right? Daniel.
Yeah, but I didn't talk to him. It was like, I just heard his voice and I was like, is that Daniel? But he's kind of far away talking to somebody else.
He works on them shitty potato buses in Edmonton there.
So he must be back for Christmas.
Man, I'm proud of him to work as a mechanic on all different types of buses. Especially the older equipment needs more maintenance. That's a big job. I'm proud of him. Oh, I wanted to tell you, I am not thrilled that one of the 2001 buses made a return, and it's one of the clunkers. 7763, the terrible sounding bus. Every time you drive it, it sounds like it's gonna blow. They replaced it with an ISL diesel engine. You know how they converted the ISCs to ISL over the years? Well, they did that in 2019, put the rebuild engine in it, and it was already wearing out by 2020. Now, that bus has always been awful. And I commented on the bus thing, the 2001 D40LF retirement page. I'm like, they don't bring back 7750, but they bring back that piece of shit, and they're like, I hear ya, right? Some of the buses are clunky though, we can't deny that. I'll make sure you get a Winnipegger tomorrow. Guess what? You just missed it. The other 12 has it today. 7963. Please give Stacy 7970. She wants it really bad.
I'm gonna have to admit it when I go on.
So how did you manage to go in second gear all night long? Yeah, how did you actually do it? Because you know what, you gotta keep your speed up somewhat, right?
Well, I just, there's a button here that you press that says mode, and then there's arrows, and you just press it and then hit control. So right now I've got it in 3, so we'll go past third gear. But when it was in second gear, it was the most I could go was 15. Which I guess I will do that with this bus. Second.
Alright, so that's its limitations if you want it to stay in second gear.
Thank you so much.
And I find if you push these buses too hard in the cold, you're gonna break down, right? Imagine if we still had Jimmys, they would be... But then again, who knows? They were tough as gristle. I mean, they put them out in -40 and they may not have any issues. Except with the snow, you would be like half an hour late because they only can go so fast. You almost would want to take the governor off just so you can pick up speed. And sometimes. You would be leaving from the garage, sit there for 30 minutes and it's still not warmed up.
Yeah, that's the problem. Those early mornings, it takes a while for everything to warm up.
Diesels, you gotta let them warm up, especially when it's like this. I wanted to come out today just in case I don't make it out to see you next anymore this week, because sometimes I do different routes, right? So you're gonna give me another couple bucks on that soda stream, are ya? I am just teasing you, but you better have got me something good for Christmas then, like you said you did. You know what? It's kind of when you're older, it's really tough. Like, we've already gotten that PS5, right? I asked for KEG gift cards. I'd love to go to the KEG. Yeah, but we get the $100 one so we can get a good meal. And then whatever's left over on the card, we can use it for, you know, kind of a discount the next time we go. Letting me know in that email, I just thought, I'm like, okay, then I better get out to go and see her, or else she's not going to be happy with me. You have something for me, and then you're like, where's Ethan? I want to give this to him. Yeah. I'm glad you said I have something for you. That made me want to come out. So from my perspective, you were hanging on to my thing for a while. No, I mean, I didn't know you until you told me over email anyways. So is this your really late night piece of work? Your only one?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, everything else is kind of like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
I thought your load was gonna be a lot worse today.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Mind you, a lot of people didn't go out today.
Yeah.
But with Calgary Transit, you don't have a choice, right? Did you end up taking the Monday off on your 76 and 105?
Sure did, yeah.
Were you not feeling well?
No, I just wasn't feeling like working. I felt like I needed one more day, you know?
Oh, I hear ya.
Yeah. So I just got someone to work for me.
Friend?
No, just like we have a site where we can post,
So kind of like a spare board.
yeah, like a work trade sort of thing. So I just paid him some money and he was happy to do it.
And to be honest, I know how you feel. Mondays are not my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, like on Sunday, you're kind of like, oh, I don't wanna go on Monday.
Unless we were doing the Jimmy Charter on Monday, that would be
Yeah.
motivational.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be one of the best Mondays of my life.
Yeah.
But when you drive her, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to get used to again.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't driven one for years. There's a guy named Nick, and he has 1130.
Oh, yeah.
That guy all over the news who bought one of our preserved transit buses, that's the one, 1130. What's your work next week then?
I'm pretty sure it's the 96, 92.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure it starts at like 1300 at Anderson. Yeah.
1300, okay.
Should be pretty good. Nice and quiet.
And then you're due in every hour and a half?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Just
So you would be back by 2:40 or leaving by then into Anderson probably about 2:30 something. 6 minutes to sit maybe.
I think it's Dale's work. You know, Dale, like this meeting. You know, that's supposed to be there. I think I could get it for the longest time. You know, because it wasn't Anderson. So I would imagine he's staying that up.
He's taking Christmas
Yeah.
vacation.
Yep, exactly.
You must know him then, right?
Yeah.
You've probably taken his work enough if
Yeah,
you...
he likes the kind of work I like.
I don't like where it's work where you kind of have to, like, you know, if, for example, you do the 56, it goes to shuttle after, so you got to get the train and then get your way back to the garage by taking another bus. Take the tail, then take the 24. I don't like, you don't like work like that. Just to get home, it takes you over 2 hours. But the good thing about the till, say if you got relieved at Riverbend and it worked out with the 24 arriving right when you get relieved pretty much, then that works out. They don't do Riverbend relievements, I don't think, there. Unless you're spare board.
They try to keep the relief points as close to when you're at as possible.
It was great to see you today.
Yeah, good to see you.
So you said I ghosted you last week.
It's all good. I know it's a bit more of a hike to get up there tomorrow, but I'll see.
Man, the arms take a while to come down. I think that's a warning thing when they start.
Yeah, I think
Oh, it feels like 8 at night already. You know you didn't have to get me anything for Christmas, but I know you, right? You're a good friend. I mean, I know, you know, we're good friends.
you're my favorite passenger
Yeah.
/ friend guy.
Thank you. I can't wait to see what it is.
It's got nothing to do with Soda Stream. Although, man, I wish I would have thought of that. That would have been hilarious.
And I haven't used it yet.
I know, to give you like a Sprite flavor thing, that would have been...
A Fanta flavor would be good.
I wish I would have thought about that, but it's okay.
You got me chocolates, didn't you?
Okay, you just relax. You're gonna see it in 1 second.
Can you,